Ako'y naiinis, minsan pupunta ako sa House of Representatives, sasabihin na wag magsalita patungkol sa red tagging. Pero doon sa letratong yon, hindi ko naman ginawa yung letratong yon. Na yung napatay na NPA sa Laguna, leader ng Kabataan Party List sa UP Los Baños, kasama mismo niya sa letrato yung kongresista ng Kabataan Party List. Paano ko na masasabihin sa sarili ko na red tagging yon kung kakilala mismo nung kinatawan yung NPA na napatay? Kasama mismo niya. Katabi mismo niya sa mga rally sa Laguna. Yung isa pa, paano masasabi nung dating kongresista ng Bayan Muna na wag silang i-red tag, wag silang i-attach sa NPA? Tapos ang kakalabasan, yung youngest daughter mo pala, yung anak mong babae, NPA, napatay as NPA during your term as congresswoman ng Bayan Muna. Paano mo ipapamuka sa AFP, sa PNP, sa sambayan ng Pilipino na hindi totoo yung mga litrato, mga facts na yon? Yun yung nakakainis dahil bilang miyembro ng National Youth Commission, kailangan namin ipatupad yung Youth and Nation Building Act, dalhin lahat ng inyong mga anak, apo, pamangkin, lahat ng mag-aaral, punta sa pagpapalakas ng ating bansa, suporta sa gobyerno, tutulungan para mapalakas ang ating institusyon, ang ating gobyerno. Tapos, minsan ang kalaban mo mismo sa debate, magtatanggal ng budget sa'yo mismo sa House of Representatives, mismo mga kongresista, nakita naman sa letrato, kahit hindi ko na i-explain sa inyo, related sa CPP-NPA. Lastly, hindi ko isinasabi ito bilang miyembro ng gobyerno, sinasabi ko ito sa inyo lahat bilang dating miyembro ng League of Filipino Students at Kabataan Party List sa UP, na wala naman talagang ibang nagre-recruit kundi ang aming mga kaalyadong grupo. At ang masabi ko sa inyo, kailangan na nating wakasan ito ngayong panahon na ito. Humina na yung New People's Army, ang nilalakasan nila ngayon ay ang recruitment nila sa hanay ng mga mag-aaral at ng mga kabataan to replenish their ranks now. Yung lahat ng naging gains ng ating gobyerno, ng ating lipunan sa pagpapabaksak sa NPA from 89 guerrilla fronts 5 years ago to 13 guerrilla fronts na lang ngayong panahon na to, mawawala lahat yung gains na yan ng ating lipunan kung hahayaan lang natin mag-recruit sila ng mga bagong miyembro. At tayo, magre-react lang tayo pag ang na-recruit na pala ay ating anak, apo, mangkin at kakilala. Bilang isang society, bilang isang law-abiding society, kailangan ngayon sa tulong ng ating mga institusyon ng gobyerno, ating senador, ating senado, ating AFP, PNP at mga kaalyado, kailangan nating tulungan, wakasan ang recruitment sa hanay ng kabataan para hindi na maipasa ang problemang ito sa susunod na henerasyon ng mga Pilipino. Nandito po ang mga susunod na magsasalita, mga mismong dating NPA na mismong kaalyado, mismong membro nitong mga youth organizations na ito, ma-explain po nila ng ayos. Ang masabi ko lang, bakit kapag merong namamatay sa fraternity, every year o every other year, nagkakagulo ang buong bansa at ang ating gobyerno patungkol sa anti-hazing law? Nasa ng listahan ng mga opisyal ng fraternity na yan. Sila ba ay pinatawag ng school administrator? Mas rampant yung patayan sa NPA at recruitment sa kabataan Pilipino Ba't hindi pa panagutin yung mga kolehiyo at universidad na inaalaw ang recruitment sa kanilang paaralan? Diba? Hindi pwedeng sabihin na academic freedom, academic freedom. Being an NPA, being a terrorist, training the youth, recruiting the youth to become a violent extremist, that is not part of academic freedom. Pumapatay na ng kapwa Pilipino yung mga NPA Doon ang galing sa school nyo. Hinayaan nyo lang sa kaka-banner nyo ng academic freedom. Isang example ko, nung nag-aaral ako sa UP, sa blackboard mismo namin nakalagay, mabuhay ang bagong hukbong bayan. Wala naman makakomment. Siyempre, ba't ko kukomentan? Teacher namin yon, grade namin yon. Hindi rin magkaalaman kung sino naglalagay nun every twice a week do sa blackboard namin. Mabuhay ang bagong hukbong bayan. Pangalawa, yung aking asawa, si Congresswoman Cardema. Nung kami ay nasa UP, bigla na lang nagka-field trip yung klase niya sa UP Diliman. Walang waiver, walang insurance, kahit yung tig 20 pesos na insurance, wala. Bigla na lang nagdatingan yung mga jeep, dinala sila sa Cavite. Ayun, nandun sila pinatulog sa picket lines. Tapos tinetext na lang ako na kinakabahan sila doon dahil nandun ang AFP at PNP. Talaga isinusubo ng ibang profesor yung mga estudyante para pumunta sa ganung lugar. Pero pag nagkagulo, ang sisisihin na naman gobyerno. Yun ang kalakaran at ibang nangyayari sa ating bansa. Walang pakialam o yung mismong guro ang nagsasama at naghihikayat sa ating mga mag-aaral. Kaya nga po, sa tulong ng hearing na ito, dapat ma-realize natin kung sino mga dapat managot. Yung school administrator ba? Yung mga recruiter ba ng mga estudyante, kapwa estudyante? At kung ano bang dapat gawin natin ngayon bilang isang law-abiding society para matigil na ito at hindi na po maipasa ang recruitment papuntang NPA sa susunod na henerasyon ng mga kabataan Pilipino. Maraming salamat po, Your Honor.
Thank you, Yusek Cardema. Alam nyo, that is the main objective of this hearing, kung paano natin mapapanagot yung mga teacher mismo na nag-recruit mga estudyante para mamundok. Marami dyan, alam natin, marami mga teachers dyan na ganyan ang ginagawa. So ito ngayon pag-uusapan natin paano mapanagot at itong kabataan na organisasyon na palaging nakikita nyo sa listahan, palaging silang nagre-recruit at napupunta nga ang bata doon sa bundok. And in fact, yung mga missing minors, nung hinahanap ng mga parents, yun na, lumabas sa kongreso. Present pa ng mga congressman ng Makabayan Party List. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Anong ibig sabihin nun? They are really part of the recruitment. Dahil sila nakaproduce ng mga bata. Nung hinahanap ng mga parents, yun na, lumabas na doon at in their custody. Nag-preskon pa sa Congress. Ganun na pala, ganun na tayo tawag nito, misoriented as a nation. Ganun na ang ginagawa ng ating mga kasamahang mambabatas. That I cannot accept. So, yun nga, hanapan natin ng paraan paano mapapanagot itong mga tao na ito. Dahil if they cannot be made liable for their actions, magpapatuloy itong recruitment talaga. Dahil there is a very thin line, yung sinasabi natin na yung radicalization hanggang sa recruitment at mag-armas doon sa bundok. Kasi nakasabi sa ating batas, yun, mere membership of the Communist Party of the Philippines is not a crime. Diba? Pero yung pag-bear ng arms and taking up arms against the government, trying to overthrow the government is becoming a crime. So yan hanapan natin ngayon, paano natin maayos ito dahil palagi lang ini-exploit nila yung gray area na yan. Yung gray area na yan, dyan sila ngayon nabubuhay. At dyan nila ginagamit yung kanilang pagiging duplicitous na organization na hindi daw, nagdi-deny, very clear naman. So, may we hear from DepEd, you want to speak already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, may I be allowed to read the
Yes,
short
go ahead.
position paper? Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. The Department of Education fully supports Senate Resolution 863, recognizing the critical issue of continuous recruitment and radicalization of students by local communist groups. This resolution addresses the urgent need to safeguard our educational institutions from external influences that compromise the safety and security of our youth and children. In particular, we would like to cite Department Order Number 32, Series of 2019, the National Peace policy framework of the Department of Education, which underscores the importance of maintaining a peaceful and secure environment in schools. The said DO is DepEd's response to the alarming data from Basic Education Information System, which reveals that from school year 2009-2010 to 2017-2018, 10,883 schools nationwide reported the effects of violent incidents, including armed conflicts. The impact on these schools has been severe, with damages to facilities and disruptions of classes. Particularly concerning is the consistent presence of all 6 regions in Mindanao, as well as regions 5 and 8 among the top 10 regions each year, with the highest proportion of schools affected by armed conflict. Time and again, children are often victims of armed conflict. Their rights are often violated, and they are particularly vulnerable to recruitment. Armed conflicts create unsafe environments where learners face the risk of being victims of grave child rights violations, and among others. The youth, especially out-of-school youths, become vulnerable to recruitment by armed groups and those belong to violent extremism. Schools may also become targets for propaganda and recruitment purposes, endangering the safety of students and compromising the educational environment. The Department of Education in the same DO has reiterated the schools are zones of peace. This principle recognizes that schools play a crucial role in building a culture of peace, acting as centers from which peace emanates to adjacent schools and communities. Specifically, schools as zones of peace means that schools are recognized as effective instruments in building a culture of peace. Second, schools are an integral part of a peaceful and secure environment conducive to effective teaching and learning, which is realized through the collective peace-building efforts of all stakeholders. Third, schools, as a general rule, should be free from the presence of armed combatants, especially those belong to violent extremism. Fourth, schools shall not be utilized for propagation of political agenda or ideology. And lastly, schools in conflict-affected and vulnerable areas shall, with the support of their respective schools division offices, coordinate with their respective local government units to determine and set appropriate security measures. And cognizant of the unfortunate reality faced by our learners, DepEd has been implementing peace education in our schools. The DepEd's commitment to peace education is evident through the curriculum and instruction strand and the curriculum and learning management divisions. These divisions lead and support schools in providing transformative education that promotes a culture of peace. Peace education is not limited to specific subjects, but is integrated across all learning areas, engaging all members of the school community and the wider community. This comprehensive approach creates an enabling environment for instilling peace-promoting values, skills, and attitudes into the fabric of the school. Finally, we reiterate that Senate Resolution 863 is a crucial step toward addressing the continuous recruitment and radicalization of our students by local communist groups. Unfortunately, while DepEd has the department order on the National Peace Policy Framework, and we have tried to strictly enforce schools as zones of peace principles and have vigorously supported peace education initiatives, further legislation may be necessary to ensure that our learners would finally have that environment that fosters the holistic development of learners and ensures the safety and security of our educational institutions and our learners. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Yusek Ribsi Escobedo. You know why? Bakit yung mga recent encounters ngayon ay doon nangyayari malapit sa mga eskwelahan? Ito'y taktika ito ng NPA na sila ay nagpapasighting, nagpapakita doon malapit sa mga eskwelahan para pag mag-react ang sundalo, pulis, at sila'y puntahan, pag inkwentro ngayon, damay ngayon yung eskwelahan. So, propaganda na naman nila. Winning the propaganda war sila na, oh, the government is the ones violating their own policy of declaring these schools as a peace zone. O bakit dito? Kipag-igira ang sundalo. Yeah, they're drawing the war, they're drawing the encounters going towards the schools para madamay ang mga bata. Ganon kawalang hiya itong mga NPA na